Hello, welcome. In this video, we are going to deal with a function that brings the square of a number. In the previous video, we had a function that was having no return data type, and therefore we had to use void. So before we go any further, let's see how this function will be working. Let's execute, compile, and run. Our first interface is enter the number. Oh, sorry, it's a spelling error. Enter the number to find its square. Let's say number 3. The second power of 3 is 9. The program is perfectly working. So let's see how we can build it ourselves. We have to open a new blank page, and then we have to first include the required header folders #include iostream, and then from there we say using namespace, std, and then we have to declare the function. Our function is now going to be returning something to the user. So our return data type, to make it because we may be wanting our program to be versatile, let's say you have also to use the point values, so let's think of using float as our return data type. So we have float, and then the function name, let's say square, and then our input parameter is only one value, and since we have our float as our return data type, it would be worth having our parameter as a float also. So we say float number, let's say float x. Okay, and now we are now also going to end with a semicolon due to the fact that this function is coming before the main function. So since it is coming before the main function, there is no any need of putting here a semicolon, otherwise the program will not run. So we have to enter over here, and now we have to put the required set. Okay, since we need to know how it will be working over here. So since we are going to return something, that means in this function we have to first declare the variable which will catch our calculation. So we can say, maybe since we are using float mostly, now we are going to have like float, then result. This one will help us to hold the result of multiplying the input parameter. So we can say it is float result, and then we say result is equal to our input parameter is x, so we want to find its second power, so it will be x multiplied by x, right? So we have now to return this result to the function, because we have to return it because it is what we are calculating. And now we say return result, right? So this is our function, and so now we can comfortably go to our main function. We'll say int main, and now we have to enter the curly braces, and now we have to, in here we have to for one thing, so we have to declare a variable which will be our actual variable that will be transferred to the function. You get it? So an example is float a, which will be our actual variable, and this actual variable will be called to this function either by let's say, take an example when you say calling by reference and calling by value, but in here, since we are not using pointers, so it will be calling by value. So from here we say cout to the user, cout, and then say enter the value to get is square, right? And now end line. And now since we say enter the value to get a square, and then now we have to go on cin, and then we put in the value which will be cin a. You get it? And then from there, after putting in a, now we have to call this function. We have to call this function because after putting it, this function now has to calculate the square, so we have to call it by the function name and also the parameter. Function name and the parameter, and our parameter now we are going to put a, because a is the one we're going to calculate. And now we have to end with the same colon, and then from there we can comfortably see we can comfortably display to the user like see out. We say see out the square of the function, the square of the number, of the number is, we end the function, end the line, the square of the number is C out, and now we put this function over here, right? We say square a, square a. So we end the line over here. Now we have to say return 0. This is our final. So before we go any further, let's preambulate about the main function. Oh, sorry, we have called this function twice in the program. It's over here and it's over here. So here we don't need it. So the program, after putting in a, it will come to here and then say the square of the value is, the number is, it will be displayed to the user, and now immediately the function will be called. So there is no need of having it over here. Let's delete this one, and now we can go to execute. We compile, then maybe we can say square. So let's execute, we compile. There is no mistake, so we can run and we see if it is perfectly working. Run. Let's say enter the value to get a square. Let's say we get the square of 5, which we know it is 25, and the square of the answer is 25. Okay guys, thank you a lot. You can subscribe, you can like the video, you can comment with any query so as we can get it. Maybe I can forward it to get you to another video. Thank you so much.